Welcome everyone to our presentation. I'm Emma, this is Julia, and this is Patrick. Our first idea of the honors program was to connect it with Rotterdam, especially because it's in the center. They have really wonderful places. They have the Mains and the Hoofdstraat on both ends of the area. Those are very nice places with bars, restaurants, and it's very connecting with the rest of the city. We decided to divide the areas into public, which connects the honors with all of Rotterdam. We've decided to keep the restaurant that was over there, to keep it where it is. All we wanted to do was add the terrace to the backside, so that people on the side of the main traveling route would come inside to the restaurant and be able to come into the central area. After that, people that are interested can come into the building and be interactive with the honors. So Rotterdam, interested, and honors. Then we've divided it up to places where only honor students could come. So it's really just the honor students. Then we've divided into the course floors, which have 2 dorms and a combined living room. And then you have the dorm, a separate dorm which share a kitchen. And then you have your separate, private, only for yourself room. There you see a lovely picture that Ruben has been working on. Here you see the Vanillefabriek. That's kind of our reference. It's typical Rotterdam as well. Here is the first concept drawing. Here you can see how the people come inside to the public area from Rotterdam inside and also outside. On the other side of the river you have the very beautiful Loudenskerk, and it's also a place where lots of festivals are being held. So we really wanted to open up also the boulevard over here, so that people could come walk from the Hoofdstraat, a very busy street, and the Main. This is our other concept drawing, where we really wanted to connect the different living areas of the different levels with the study areas. The green, you see every color we've used gives a function. The honors are green. That's where they get to meet up, organize maybe a conference or just study. We haven't really divided that yet, but every area could be a different function. Here in the drawing you see how we've split up the living room areas above each other, and we've kind of got the same idea as the group before us, which the living rooms are actually connected as well. So you can, if you like, you can randomly go to the next floor and watch TV there. And we've also connected the living rooms with the green study areas. There you see the Vanillefabriek from fabric again. Factory, of course. And here you see a impression of the from the Loudenskerk to that podium, the stage, a little stage for the festival area. And out behind that you see the 2 buildings and the 2 bridges. This is the situation. We've kind of put a few impressions or just pictures of the area. This is the Hoofdstraat, very busy. On the other end is the Main, very busy as well. There you see the festival terrain, which next to the picture next is the church, which is behind the stage. This is our floor plan. These are our floor plans. On the ground floor, we've really decided to keep one area for exhibition for the whole of Rotterdam. Do you have to hurry up? 1 minute. Okay. One side we have an exhibition area where the honors meet the interested people who could come inside, where the events could be organized and other stuff. The other side we wanted to make a student restaurant where students could cook with each other, maybe sell for a small price, and even if they do very well, maybe sell to other people in Rotterdam who are low budget, and also maybe not honor students which are friends or they follow the same study. Now we've got some really nice impressions. We've also have on the roof, we've had an outer space for only the honor students, because this is for everyone. We wanted an outer space for only honor students. That's the impression up there. Here, the impression in the middle is the boulevard with chairs and nice places to sit and relax. And right, we have the two bridges. And this is our
Honors meeting Rotterdam. What do you think of it?
Well, it's like a sort of group of handicapped people or something.
In what way? In what sense?
Yeah, I always thought that students are just people, but now I learned that they are very special, sort of what I say, handicapped people or something.
Special needs.
Care, special care, and a lot of money to put them in really good conditions. Yeah.
They're honor
I
students.
think this is completely. I mean, first I want to say this presentation was very good and very clear drawings, and I admire the way you do that in 1 day, 1.5 day, and night. So that's very good. But I'm really waiting for some more realism in this time of crisis, and we all know that this, what we call crisis, in first place is not a crisis, in the second place it will never stop anymore. We will not go back into the golden times of more and more, this is just, that good weather is just over.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that students are also starting to prepare on just more realistic. And I have a simple question also, always, sort of trick. Do you want to live there yourself?
Well, I'm not an honor student, so that I wouldn't be allowed to go here, to sleep here.
That's not a really
it's
good.
really,
That's not a good answer, I think.
No, it's not. Oh, I'm sorry.
Because when you are an architect or you want to study architecture, the first thing is to put yourself in place, to be empathic to with the people you are working for. So when you make such a thing, you are, for the time being, an honor student. Is that true? Yeah.
Well, I think a very clear reaction on don't put crippled people into other houses where you don't want to live. But Linda.
Well, all I was going to say is, and we can have a whole conversation, because in the United States, if you're a child that's been designated as gifted, you are, in many states, actually you qualify for special needs treatment.
Yes.
Isn't that bizarre? I find that to be bizarre.
But you have in the United States this idea of some elite universities like Harvard and Columbia.
Yes.
And all the others.
Yes.
And you have normal state universities.
That's right. I'm in a normal
and
state
they're
university.
for the poor people,
That's right. It is for the poor people. Right. Exactly. That's exactly right. And we have honors students in honors housing, so they can feel like they're going to Columbia, but they're really a poor person. You know what I'm saying? That's how that works. I was going to say, I'd be curious to see how people would use the study. I love these little crazy bridges, but how people would use them ending in the study room. Do you know what I mean? Like, would you stay away from the corner, and then what would happen in that corner if nobody, I just kind of wonder about that, the way that you've got it set up. But I love it. It's very cool.
Do you want a small answer, or that's not?
Well, how do you think do you think that would be clearly delineated?
Well, because the floors are connected in different ways.
Yeah.
I think it's always kind of a common area, so you wouldn't really have behind an awkward corner which no one ever comes to.
Okay.
And that's how I would see it in this. I don't know how it would react in real life.
Yeah, or you'd stumble on somebody in there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
That could happen.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great.
thank you very much.
Minutes. see the different perceptions. Where in America, if you kind of try to stand up in the crowd, they support you, and in Holland, if you try to stand up, they kind of cut your hand off. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, or not. Yeah.
Oh, alweer.
Honor student down.
Many. Yeah. Well, maybe if you have time afterwards, you can talk.
Okay. This is our project. This is Cliff, Yusef, and my name is Seva. This is the existing situation. The buildings are right here. There are more than 2 buildings. In fact, there are 1, 2, 3, 5. So we didn't want to demolish them. We want to use the buildings to create the Hounours students' house system. And we also want to use this area here to create space for the students where they can study or where they can meet with other students. To talk about school and stuff. So that was our first thing. This is our concept. This is the buildings how they were, and we want to connect this part and use this space right here. And we also want to close that for so that the students can stay there even when it's at night. The criminals and all stuff, we don't want it right there. So the ground floor, we have a lot of space, and we want to use that area. All this space at the street side, at the main street, we want to put the shops there, retail, because we want to improve the street right there, and the city. So this side will be shops, and maybe there's an architecture student, and here will be a shop where they can buy some foam stuff. We also changed the entrance because there was a very boring and small entrance. So we made the main entrance for the students right here in this area. And here's another entrance where people, when they walk by the building, they can walk in and they can have, maybe in this room, students can place their models or something. Architecture students, you can place your designs right in this room, and people can walk by the building and they can see that and they can interact, so they can learn about the Hounours project. So the first floor is semi-private rooms. So the ground floor are public rooms. The first floor is semi-private, and the second floor is all private. So the rooms are on the second floor and above, and the first floor is semi-private. There are some impressions. So here you can see the area that we want to create. So the atmosphere, very nature. We want to involve the nature in the building because we think that will be a very it will improve the study. And we also want to use the roofs for some places where they can hang out. And as you can see here, it's closed, but it's still glass, so you can see the entrance and you can watch right through the area where they sit and where they study and where they meet with other students. And also the main entrance is right here for the students, so when they are with their bicycles or stuff, they can just place it here and walk right in. And that's our presentation.
What do you think of this idea?
It looks great, probably from the inside out, under the tree, nice glass. but I immediately get the feeling it's a sort of zoo where, you know, people from the city can come and look at the monkeys and how they study, you know. And I find it a bit, yeah,
No, it's not.
weird.
But we want to the public around the area. They really don't know much about honor students or something. So when we create this part of glass, they can interact, they can learn.
So they should have like a little sign like "Don't feed the."
People who are passing by can see what's happening there. And if it's interesting, and interested, then you can come to the area where the honor students are doing a project. And if they have questions, then they can interact with them. So they can give them a tour in the building and see how they live there.
That's what I'm curious about, because I see it in all the proposals that there is a sort of a shop or a knowledge bar or something else. First of all, why would you? I can imagine it would be nice to have this connection, especially if you ask people from outside to come in and do a project for them. But why do you think it's important that people from the street walk around in their building? And what will be the added value?
We put on the first floor, we put some on the. But on that we have some room, some shops. The reason why I put those shops there is because we want the building itself deliver something to the neighborhood.
Contribution.
Yes, a contribution. So it isn't a building alone for the students, but also a piece of the building that can
Give something back to
back to the city.
Yeah. Because in how you explain it, and the others also, I think, is it's mostly like the outside should just come in. But I'm also looking for how is the inside coming out?
That's actually the purpose of the first floor. It's mainly for public, so that's the place where the inside goes outside. That's the real connection between the city and our concept.
Because they come out of the glass house, they go into the street. Okay.
Glass
But
house
for studying, the honor students really study together. They're all one piece. They don't go. If we separate everything, it's not. They're not. It's not an honor project. They are going to work together. So that's why.
the glass gives you an impression of a zoo. That was our first choice. Our main concept was that we should create a place, a semi-public place for the students to come together and maybe call their friends. But the circumstances in Rotterdam are different. It can be dangerous. That's why we put glass and not a wall. The glass is so that people can enjoy from the view and be safe at the same time. But I can understand why you get that feeling.
Yeah, maybe also because honors students are supposed to have extra competencies. And one of them is, for instance, to be able to deal with insecurity, to try out things, to experiment. And that feels completely the opposite of a sort of a safety environment.
I would
Sorry.
suggest to leave it to one command right now, just because of time reasons, because we probably have 3 groups more, and we all want to hear them. And the general session started at 3:30, so we have to be at the other side of the building. And you're all invited to join the wrap-up of the conference and the music. So to get that point, I'd like to thank you very much for your presentation and to go to the 5th group.
In de tuin hebben we zelf, maar nu maken we glas. Baas mij ook ja.
Je zou willen dat er waar een soort niemandsland waar interessante dingen kunnen gebeuren. Ja, nu klinkt honors meer inderdaad als een initiatief, maar ons dat wil eigenlijk honors. Midden in het leven. Ik weet ook niet in hoeverre dat
ja, ik dacht juist ruimte daarvoor ook voor zouden gebruiken. Want ja, vond me daar heel goed. Ja, dat soort van alsof ze daar, je kan look but don't touch. Als je kan naar kijken, maar niet veel mee. Ja, maar je kan op een subtiele manier kan je voor elkaar zijn.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to start. First off, this is Nathaniel, this is Abel, and I'm Rick. First question is why would some honor students want to live in the location where we want to put the project? First of all, it's the housing, the house's location. As you can see, it has everything between walking distance. So shopping is on the edge of the shopping area. The nightlife is around the corner, and all the colleges and universities are within walking or biking distance. And if they need to go further out, they can take a subway or a train.
When you come to the floor plans, this is a concept of the building we created. Our main goal is to connect with the city, and well, we question how can we do that? What do students have that people in neighborhoods also want? What is knowledge? That's what students have mostly. So how can students interact with these people? Well, maybe by giving them lessons. We also had some examples of exhibition area. That's also part of our plan. But maybe they can learn them something. Perhaps foreign people who want to learn Dutch. Well, why not go to the honor student house so they can, for a small price, teach them the language or history or whatever they want. That way you...
Go on.
Sorry.
That we could teach the Dutch some English, I think.
Yeah, that's also... that's why we combine the street with the building. On the other side, you have the water, and well, we make connection with that also. We put students in sitting area, lounges, where they can sit, they can watch the views. It's casual. Down to the street, you come to a study place where more tables, where you can meet with other students, you can talk about your project or anything. And further down, you have computer area. Well, mostly you stare at your screen, so you don't want to stare outside. So it's more in the back. The bar, that's already there, we kept there, and we integrated that into the plan. And also, it's a small show window, or I don't know what's called. Well, yeah, they show their projects or they posters, what they do, and invite the people into their building. That's the ground floor. Yeah. First floor is also public area, but more private to the students, while the ground floor was also for people from outside. First floor, we have also study rooms, sitting areas, because, well, in my own perspective, I like to sit in a lounge seat while I study. It's comforting. Also living room / kitchen, because they have to eat too. And on the other building beside, there are some working spaces where they can make models or practice that kind of things.
From the second to the sixth floor are the personal rooms for the students. They are at the back of the building because that's the greatest view to the surroundings. They can learn on their rooms, there's enough space for it, but they also have a place, a study area where they can sit more than one person. And have a living area with a small kitchen. The greatest benefits for the honor students to live in these apartments are that they can learn with and from each other on the different levels of privacy on the different floors. How higher you get in the building, the more privacy the students have. Another benefit is that they have the working spaces on the ground floor that provides them to earn some money by teaching, and it's a great interaction with people from the city. With the exhibition room, it's not a closed building, but accessible building, where you can see what the students are doing, and most interesting are the projects that with the city is involved by.
I'd like to ask Linda to reflect on this service learning agreement the students have with the community.
I just have a couple questions. You said, well, and one answer. You said, what do students have the city wants? And I'm thinking they have money, right? They're going to go spend places. Don't forget that, right? That they are, right, they're consumers in the city in terms of cafe, you know, all that stuff. But did you put the students where the view was best or worst? Like the sleeping rooms?
The personal rooms of the students have the best view.
That's interesting, because another group did just the opposite.
Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting. And how many students were you thinking in this space?
20 on one building and another 20 on the second building.
Okay, I wondered how many students people were sort of seeing as housed. Good. That's cool.
Okay, thank you for the remark. I'd like to invite the sixth group.
Only the spelling check I should say. And in the night. Portfolio.
That's like our slogan at my school. We shall achieve.
Really? Main goal of students, right?
Let's start then.
Yeah. Okay, welcome to our presentation. I'm Thomas, this is Wessel and Mathieu, and we'll be talking about our design for the honor program student housing. What will we be talking about is why would they live here, study here, collaborate here, and achieve here? Why would they connect, or how would this building connect with the city, and how would they connect with education? But first of all, what we really wanted to do is create a center of knowledge, which means we want to attract knowledge and we want to give knowledge to the city. First of all, we wanted to give ground floor a what we call flexwerkplek. That's a concept which already exists, where you can come in, hire a room, and well, just work there. So as a professional or as a student, you can work there. So if you're a professional, you can sit there and share your knowledge or receive knowledge, which we feel is a real benefit for the students, so for their education and well, general development. Second of all, we wanted not to create separate communities on every floor, which you see is very common on other dorms, probably in America, but I've seen it in Holland as well. We wanted to integrate different areas, not really public areas, but we call them semi-public areas, which means all the students and residents can visit. Even if you live here, you can visit an area here. These are study areas, recreation areas, all that kind of things, stuff. And second of all, we didn't really want to create this community, which I said just now. We created a stairway which connects with the common areas. So this is a living room with kitchen, which we'll be talking about later on. And we also have these 4 points, which we really want to integrate in the building, which we'll be talking about in a few moments. Okay.
Well, then we get to the living part. Here you see the separation, how we separated the whole building. First of all, the blue corners are the private space, private bedrooms where they can sleep or whatever, they can work by themselves if they want to. The shared environment are the red parts, and in the 3D model you can see it here. And we make it open. We made it open, so from this floor you get a connection with this floor, and here it's the same. Next to that, we got the stimulation interaction, which are the floors which Thomas talked about, where the interaction must take place with between the professionals and the honor students on the ground floor. And on the first floor, we put some new kind of rooms, like the inspirational rooms, where you can let your creativity the free way, how we call it. You can come there to brainstorm. You get how do you see it in front of you? You get a whiteboard from the ceiling, just to write your plan down, to show it to another, and you can put it away, and then you, etc. Let your ideas come to work. Next one. The study area, how we put the study inside this building. Well, I said already, the blue parts, you can study there for yourself. In the yellow parts, you got, maybe you want to study in a group of 10 students. You can get there. You can invite your teacher from your program there, just to discuss your project. The other one, the red part, that's the library. That's only accessible for the residents, for students only. To get your info, of course. Speaks for itself. And then we go to the next one, collaboration. This is about the rooms Thomas talked about, the flex working spaces. You can get there. The professionals from from the companies, they get there. They can work there for themselves. So no students are interacting. You can get there for yourself, work with professional to professional, but also the honor students can work with the professional. So if they got a question, they get to the professional and get the answers, but likewise, counterwise, it counts also. Because when the professional gets a problem in his own company, who could lay it down there and the honor student can pick it from, I can think, I can solve it. So he takes the initiative to solve it. And that's on the first floor, on the ground floor, sorry. It looks like this. How do you see it? We got it on this floor. So when you're walking on the street, on the ground floor, we made it transparent to invite the professionals inside there. So you get in here, and then you can walk in here, you can work here, you can work here. It's flexible. You can also make rooms just for, you can separate in 4 sections, so you can work with 20 people, but also in 5 people, just the way you want it. I think that's the main point of our plan.
Okay.
Just one thing more, sorry. To get, we're going to go, the other group called, we're going to give the chairs back to the students. When you are in this area, the view looks like this. You can open it, and in front of you, you see the chairs, so it's an easy connection. And the last thing is, this plan is for living. The students can live there, they can work there, they can extend their study goals. Their facilities to socialize, to interact, but also work for yourself. And it's a space for where teachers and students can meet. So that's our plan. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad you opened up the room for teachers as well. It's the first time I heard that they are important for honor students, maybe. But I'd like to ask a question to Herman. When you have a problem making nice presentations or some maquettes, would you think of hiring in the ground floor a flex site to interact with such as students? Would that be a good idea?
I think that's a good idea, yeah. What you have today, the idea of an atom center, which means that you are not hiring a room. That's not true. You are hiring maybe an internet connection.
Yes, there is
and
a connection.
And the fact that you can use the coffee bar and that you are there. But I think that is a good idea. That is very, very realistic. So I think your project is full of sort of realistic touches, but it is not. Well, I don't know. Do we have the possibility to have a sort of general discussion after all, or must we go into it now?
Oh well, we can. I try to arrange that they will wait for us 10 minutes more, so we have a quarter left.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but so.
I'm now sort of in on
Well, then continue.
No, I think you're touching a lot of points, but it's still very stiff, you know. And I have the feeling that the whole profession of architecture should considerably change, you know. You are sort of making a program and putting in this there, and I think today things are much more mixed up, huh? And therefore this idea of flex work is okay, but the idea of professionals and non-professionals, we haven't got professionals and non-professionals anymore. Everybody today is professional. You know, you have some pain, and you look up on internet what the pain is. You go to your doctor and you say, I want this medicine because I have this. You know, and it's not the doctor who is the professional. Also, the architect is not the professional anymore. You have what we should do is have good ideas, and good ideas is not just something a little bit different from what we had before, but real good ideas, and sell them, in, you know. And I mean, when you really want to be, I direct myself to everybody here. You want to be an architect, and you want to be successful. You want to be asked in offices, you know. Then you really must have good ideas, something that works better than what we not have, and not like you know, sort of afraid people say, yes, we put this there, we put this there, we put this there. I mean, did you ever see the comic program Torrensee?
Yes.
Huh? I mean, it's a little bit overdone, you know, it's over the top. But somewhere, what you see is something very interesting. And I tell, sorry, can I have two minutes? You know, I spoke a person from that visited MIT. Yeah, and it was just a visitor, and he was guided in all these kilometers of corridors of MIT. And the man said, well, I'm going to show you the place where it happens. And he thought that he would see a fantastic laboratory where special things were that only are at MIT. No, at a certain moment in these corridors there was a sort of wider corridor, and there was a coffee machine. And they can there say, there it happens, you know. So today, when you really, all this talk about, what did you say, interact with the other people, you see, you normal people or something, you know, people from the city. I mean, the most important thing is a good coffee bar. Yeah? And everybody comes, and when you have a good coffee bar, you sell your flex places, and this interaction will be there. I think. You know? Well, I could go on for half an hour, but she doesn't allow me.
Well, I think a good coffee spot will be integrated in all.
Well, not only for coffee. I mean, you can also.
It's true what you're saying. That's why the academy, Tony's space works so good.
Yeah.
Because that's the coffee bar, and that's where everything comes together.
I mean, I learned that, except for that person from MIT, I learned that from Torrensee. Huh? And also from the AA in London, when I was there, the AA, the first time I came, well, it's famous architecture school in London, that you are in, and then there's this coffee bar. They start to say, you want something to drink? You say, yes, why not? And then all these people, professionals, as you say, and students, and everybody comes in, hey, are you there? And what about this? And what's going on? And that, you know, there is this famous say today that in an office building, you are, so to say, spending the day, but you're not there to work. Working you do at home, and you are in the building to meet each other and to exchange opinions and things. You know, that's the most important thing.